The road to Battle Creek begins in Brooklyn tonight as two Lenawee County teams battle it out in a Class B first-round district matchup. It's Tecumseh versus Onsted, fighting to see who moves on and who goes home. Coverage of Michigan's high school volleyball tournament starts right now, only on LSN.
Davis bounced it off his head, and I don't think that was an accident.
You've got a tie atop the LCAA standings. Count that baby in a foul. The first time they've been there in 61 years. Morency is going to the Breslin Center.
And I think this is pretty much over.
Blissfield Royals, district champions.
Lenawee Sports and the Michigan High School Athletic Association proudly presents Michigan's High School Volleyball Tournament, where tonight the Tecumseh Lady Indians have traveled here to Brooklyn to take on the Lady Cats of Onsted. And as always, it's all part of the season-long race for our state championship. Good evening. I'm Evan Norton alongside Jesse Ramirez. Jesse, how does it feel to be in a great environment like this?
Well, it feels a little bit scary. I'm afraid at any second I'm going to get smashed in the head with the volleyball, but other than that, I'm really looking forward to a great game tonight with the Indians and the Wildcats. Hopefully they both bring their A game and we see an awesome set of matches tonight.
Right. Now, Jesse, what can you tell us before this game gets off? What can you tell us about the Onsted Wildcats? What do they got to do to get this win?
Well, definitely they got to work as a unit, work as a team, try to forget the individual mindset. We kind of talked to both coaches beforehand, but we didn't get a lot of words from both. But obviously both coaches, especially Onsted coach that we talked to about, wanted to talk about how important this game was, being the first in the tournament here.
Right. I also had the pleasure to talk to the Tecumseh Indians head coach, Kim Foley. Coach Kim Foley, I asked her, well, Kim, what do you think you have to do in order to get this win? What's a major key?
Right.
She said, we have to finish out a game strong, just like they did in that upsetting win against Adrian. And then when I brought up about the Adrian game, she said that was a great win. We had high emotions coming off of it, especially into this next week that they to prepare. They also said they don't want to focus on that. That's over with. That's done with. They don't want to focus on Adrian again until they have to play them or face them again later on in the tournament.
Right, and you definitely hope that teams have that mindset. We're not worrying about the past or worrying about the future, just worrying about the game ahead of them, and that's where they're going to play their best, is the game at hand, you know what I mean?
Right.
Tonight, the Tecumseh Indians should only be worrying about the Wildcats. They shouldn't be worrying about Adrian or any other team in the tournament. With that said, we are going to send it to break. You're watching Michigan's high school volleyball tournament only on LSN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
The broadcast of today's game is a copyrighted presentation of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and the Lenawee Sports Network. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distribution of the descriptions or accounts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the MHSAA and the Lenawee Sports Network.
As the voice of Michigan student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played. We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
in which interscholastic athletes can thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive, sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stands should have fun, but not take the focus away from the game.
We believe coaches should act as teachers, helping student athletes develop,
while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time in high school sports,
and respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy high school sports,
while keeping a high level of respect between all those involved in the games.
Enjoy the game!
All right, welcome to the game. We have the Tecumseh Indians facing off against the Onsted Wildcats. The first serve. They set up there over the net. A big spike there. That's a point for the Tecumseh Indians.
That's always a good thing, a big confidence boost, whether it doesn't matter the sport, the score first.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you setting the tone, you letting them know that you are able to score
first.
Yeah.
See what happens here with the second serve of the game. Stopped by Izzy Johnson.
A light spike there.
Off the top of the net. Taylor Hutchinson just misses it.
We had 3 girls over there diving for it. None of them can get to it.
We have Tecumseh's libero serving right now, Emily Phelan.
Go, bump over. Almost blocked there, but couldn't get high enough. Ball still in play.
Reichel.
And that is 3 straight points for the Tecumseh Indians there, leading it 3-0.
Ball just squeezed through Onsted's libero. Taylor Hutchinson just through her arms. Both liberos in white. Lauren Reichel on the stop. Izzy Johnson over the net.
And now the Onsted Wildcats are going to be serving and got their first point of the game.
Let's see what they can do here now, Jesse. See if they can come back with a tone of their own.
And hard just like that.
Hard spike by Tiffany Roberts in the face of Megan Freitas.
It's right in her face, you know what I'm saying, Evan. Nice serve set up. And a monster spike there.
That was Becca Mammal on the front line with a hard hit straight to.
It was a really good spike there by the senior Mammal.
Straight to Isabel Anderson, but ball just got away from her.
That ball almost hit our camera crew, but we are fine and dandy.
Everyone's okay. No broken bones.
I was scared for Miguel. The poor man can't take much more. Yeah, another bump over. Get it to the Onsted side.
Emily Phelan on the stop.
And that's another Onsted score.
Great effort by Megan Freitas once again. Just a little bit too much heat on the ball. Just out of bounds. Lauren DeLand to serve for Onsted. Straight to Emily Phelan. Freitas.
And that was touched there by the Onsted Wildcats, so it will be the Indians' score.
That was Claire Marks-Wilt.
Oh, no, I thought it was touched there, so.
Claire Marks-Wilt on the spike. Stopped by Wilt once again. Over to Mammal. Hard spike to Hutchinson and just poked over the net. What a smart play by Kelly Gotham.
Score is 5-5.
Tecumseh's Claire Marks-Wilt serving for the Indians. Stopped by libero Taylor Hutchinson.
Ball right off the head.
I believe that is a double hit, Jesse.
So nice they had to hit it twice.
Marks-Wilt on the serve. Stopped by Lauren DeLand. Poked over the net.
And another Indian score there. Maybe they called that a carry. I'm not exactly sure what the call was on that one.
The basketball chance coming out for the Tecumseh Indians.
And just like that, we have a score for the Onsted.
7-6, 1-point game. Tecumseh Indians on top of this one. Tiffany Roberts on the serve. Stopped by Emily Phelan.
Good save there by the Onsted.
Lauren Reichel pops it up. Tiffany Roberts puts it over. Mammal on the spike. Poked, punched. Hit and hit again over the net by Isabel Anderson. Elena Poulter over to Reichel. Poked over. What an effort by Elena Poulter. Back to Phelan. Over the top by Marks. Lauren DeLand back to Poulter on the hard spike. just outside of the yellow line. That's going to be Onsted's point. And with a blink of an eye, we're all back tied up at 7.
I tell you, after that last that play, my eyes are just still stuck in the back and forth motion. I don't know how to stop them. Seriously, Evan, how do I stop this?
I don't know if you can until the game's over, Jesse.
And I dive, but I missed there. That was number 2, Jessica Kane, the junior for the Tecumseh Indians. Good effort.
Tiffany Roberts on the serve. Just barely outside the yellow line, says the official. And Labaro, Emily Phelan comes out with a substitution.
She just definitely made a great play, too, by not hitting that ball. She saw that it was going to be going out and decided to let it go.
Morgan Cadmus came in for the libero. Mamo out back to serve, straight to DeLand, over to Reichel, hard spike, and that one is in. Onsted's back up on the board, 9-8. I think Kelly liked that one.
Hey, Kelly had the ball go right at her, and she
had
took the adversity. She had
a flashback back to her days.
Her glory days on the field.
Or court.
Lower court, yeah. As you can tell, I'm not an avid volleyball watcher, but I'm adjusting.
Cameron Powell comes in for Kelly Gotham, and she's serving as we speak. Hits the middle of the net. Back on Tecumseh's side, 10-9 Onsted. Alyssa Richardson in the game for Lauren DeLand. She's going to step right up to front line. And Lauren Reichel's back to serve for Onsted. That's a double dribble, Jesse.
I think we should tell the refs to keep their eyes open for those.
Elena Poulter on the hard spike. Just gets through Lauren Reichel's hands.
Lightning quick there. I tell you, I am scared for my safety in this room here.
These girls are tough, man. If I had a ball coming at me that fast, I'd move away from it.
I'd immediately go into the fetal position.
Immediately. Lauren Reichel just pokes it a little bit too hard. Tecumseh's point. Elena Poulter in the backfield to serve. Stop by Reichel. Anderson up to Richardson. Straight to Phelan's face. Onsted's point.
And these points are just going back and forth. It's still tied up now, 11-11. Make a wish, Evan. I wish that. I don't know. I wish the world peace, maybe.
I wish my neck will be okay after this game.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to get whiplash. Libero Taylor Hutchinson on the serve. It was tipped, touched by Onsted. Libero Emily Phelan back in the game and serving for the Indians. Stop by Izzy Johnson, slips through her hand. What an effort by Reichel.
They got to get her over the net.
Hits it over, back to Phelan. Mammal with the hard spike, blocked by Roberts, just out of reach with Taylor Hutchinson, the libero for Onsted.
And Mammal is definitely that secret weapon whenever they need a strength.
I've seen a couple of substitutions by Tecumseh, but not so much by Onsted. What do you think the purpose is? I mean, it makes sense to substitute more frequently, more legs, more fresh legs. But Onsted's doing all right as Tiffany Roberts gets the ball spiked back.
Well, I know maybe Onsted is just trying to keep their, maybe their best players in as the timeout's called.
We're going to get a timeout as you see.
And we are going to throw at the break during this timeout. You're watching LSN, your home for Lenawee sports.
Go for a mouthful, go for the fun.
Oh, go for
cakes for everyone. Just one stack is what it takes. And it's go for cakes. Open wide, stuff your face. There's always room for more Gopher cakes. Empty the box, then reload. Eat those Gopher cakes till you explode.
Exercised lately?
Till you explode.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
All right, and welcome back. Tecumseh is serving now. Another big leap by Phelan there.
What a run down by Hutchinson, over the net by Reichel. Back over the net, off the head of Richardson and onto the floor. That's a point back to Tecumseh. And with a blink of an eye, it's a 4-point lead, 15-11, the Lady Indians.
Yeah, the Indians are trying to pull away from that stagnant score.
Phelan still serving in the backfield. Straight to Roberts, over to Anderson. Just tapped over, but not hard enough. Hits the top of the net and back down onto Onsted's side. Phelan serving once again, over the net to Reichel, back to Anderson. Roberts punches it over the head of Mammal. What a block. What a block by Roberts.
Yeah, it sounded like a bullet. Did you hear that, Evan? I'm scared. I almost ran to my car.
Once again, I don't know how these girls do it. Like, Mammal, hard spike off the top, stopped by libero Hutchinson. Over to the net to Johnson.
And a light tap. Whoa. It's still in the game there. Look at this.
Wow, what an effort by the Onsted Wildcats.
So many saves.
Marks Wilt with the hard spike. Johnson says, I'll return the favor. What an effort by Mammal. Wilt back over the net to libero Hutchinson. Anderson back set to Richardson. What a hit. Hutchinson with the save again. Reichel over the back. Johnson. Listen to this place erupt. Johnson with a nice little touch. The little love tap over Mammal.
She didn't want to scare him, but she wanted to let him know, hey, I'm here. And I think that was definitely
Anderson in the back, serving. Over to Freitas. Hard spike over by Mammal. Johnson once again tries to give it another one. Mammal says, not today. Freitas over to Anderson. Back to Phelan. Gives a set. A low tap. What an effort by Anderson once again. Tecumseh's going to get that one as it goes out of play into the stands.
17-13.
We have Megan Freitas serving for the Indians. To Reichel, to Anderson, to Roberts. Blocked by Mammal.
It was blocked out of bounds, so the Onsted Wildcats are going to get that point.
Lauren DeLand subbing back in for Richardson. DeLand serving, sends it deep. Mammal with the hard spike. Roberts says, give me a little piece of that. Johnson with the low love tap again over Mammal.
And we're seeing all these humongous, strong hits on the ball, but it's usually the little small taps that are getting these points for the girls.
Marks Wilt with the spiking try. Out of play. DeLand once again. Setting up for the long gun. Over the net. Look at that misdirection. Looked like it was about to be a serve. But it was Freitas on the smart play. We have Marks Wilt serving for the Indians. Low and just over the net. Just tapped over. That's going to be too many taps on the Wildcats.
I think that the Onsted Wildcats thought that they had another player right there, so they lightly tapped it over there. But
maybe that's the ghosty rule when you're playing baseball with your friends in the backyard. Thought they had another ghost up on the front line. As it's Marks Wilt once again serving for the Indians. Anderson sets it up to Reichel, as that one is going to say, let me in there. It's knocking on the door.
Trick or treat was yesterday, Ball. Trick or treating was yesterday. All right, 20-17. Indians still with the lead.
Roberts serving for Onsted. Stopped by Phelan to Mammal. Straight to Anderson's forearms. And that is going to say Lauren Reichel finding the open spot on the court, threading the needle as Onsted's creeping their way back into this game, 20-18.
Very, very close game here.
Roberts serving again. As that is a point for Onsted. Now, what do you got to do if you're Tecumseh to try to get back ahead of this game and finish a game strong and get the win in this round or match?
But you can't let plays, as I watch the ball almost hit Miguel again, you can't let plays like that, what we just saw, get to you where it could have been an easy, save, and we just saw them, kind of break down because they were in the lead by so much.
They were, I believe the score at one point was even 12-7.
Exactly. So
5-point lead. So now it's tied we're all tied up here at 20 as the Indians get another point with a hard spike by Elena Poulter as Emily Phelan gets subbed out once again.
I'm sure they were listening to us, so they were like, oh yeah, we got
Morgan Camdis. As we've got Mammal serving for the Indians.
First time tonight.
Oh, that one is in for the Indians. 22-20. Now the tables have turned. Now if you're Onsted, now what do you got to do to catch back up again and take the lead?
Well, you got to understand that you can't do things like that, have that big space on the floor. You got to definitely try to tighten up and cover everything so you can't have a play like that because Tecumseh just going to have their way with Onsted if they let that happen.
Mammal once again serving for the Indians. High serve, a little bit too hard. Onsted's point. 23-21 Tecumseh Indians. As Mammal gets subbed out of the game. Poulter looked like she was going to spike it with just a little love tap, as it's just enough to put the Tecumseh Indians over the Wildcats, 24-21. We have Cameron Powell serving for the Indians. Just over the net.
And that's the first game right there going to the Tecumseh Indians. And after that, 25-21, we are going to send it to break. You're watching LSN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Only you can prevent wildfires.
And welcome back. If you're just joining us, the Tecumseh Indians took the first game with a score of 25-21. Definitely not a crippling defeat for the Onsted Wildcats. They were hanging in there, a very close match. It was 20-20 at one point, I believe. They always came back if they were down by around 4 to 5 points, and definitely nothing to be ashamed of. They can come back and win 2 games tonight, or 3 games tonight, excuse me, and I wouldn't be surprised. Evan, what's a big takeaway you had of the game, the first match, I guess?
Well, I mean, both teams, they they looked in the beginning throughout the first 10 points or so that they were neck and neck, sharing a lot of the same skills with not letting the little things get to them.
Right.
Maybe they feel like a bad call happened. They just got to play through it. And I think that's the mindset that any team's got to have if they want to win, especially in crunch time down here when we're in the tournament like this.
Right. Yeah, and I definitely think that although Onsted was never really in the lead, if they were, it wasn't for as big as a margin as Tecumseh was, but I don't think that, they were really crushed in the first match.
But this next game's going to be, I feel like, a little bit more interesting. I know that's hard to believe. I know that's a little bit hard to believe based on the excitement and energy we felt in this gymnasium in the last set, but this game is really who's going to take control of this 5-game series, who's going to win 3. I'm not too sure if we'll see a sweep, but let's see what happens here in this second set. I think this is the most important out of them, kind of sets the tone for both teams.
And there we go with Onsted this time scoring the first point of the match.
What I tell you, Tecumseh scored first last game. They won. Let's see what happens in this one.
Yeah, definitely going to see what happens.
Anderson once again serving for the Wildcats. Stopped by White to Hutchinson. Spiked, just hit the white line on the net. Not high enough. Point Tecumseh.
1-1. Uno. That's all Spanish I know. I know I should know more. I know.
We're going to need subtitles now on that, Jesse.
I know. I'm so sorry. For those watching at home, I said 1 and 1. I don't think we need subtitles now, hopefully. Whew, okay. Dodge that bullet. All right, 2-1.
I don't know if that was in the budget.
I know.
Anderson over the back. Over to DeLand. Tapped over by that was Marks Wilt. Apologies on that one. Marks Wilt tapped it over for Tecumseh. DeLand in the backfield to serve for the Wildcats. Johnson and Roberts say, get that out of here with the love tap. Over to Megan Freitas, as that is a double hit. Now, Jesse, please tell me and for the viewers at home, what is a double hit?
Double hit is when the player hits it twice. You can't go back to back with both your hands.
Now, what if is it just you can't hit it once in the air and then hit it again with the other one, or if you hit it once and it bounces off any part of your body, is that still a double hit?
Yeah. I believe that if you hit with any part of the body, it's a double hit. So you don't want to, bounce it off your leg and then try to hit it up in the air because that's going to be a double hit.
As a powerful spike by Reichel, as libero Taylor Hutchinson comes out of the game for the first time.
No relation to Josh Hutchinson.
As Kylie Ross subs in as a sophomore for the junior libero. Stopped by Phelan. As the sophomore gets the first points of the set. I don't think the fans were happy with that one. What do you think happened there, Jesse?
Well, they weren't sure if the ball was out or not, and they looked to the line ref, and he said the ball was going to be a point for the Onsted, so you got to take what the refs give you. And
as Roberts sets a spike over to to Jessica Kane of the Indians, and to the back wall of the gymnasium, as Onsted is leading 6-3. Roberts once again to serve for the Wildcats. Mammal just missed the spike. Timeout by the Tecumseh Indians, and you can feel the electric energy
And with the score at 3-7, we're going to send it to break. You are watching LSN, your home for Lenawee sports.
They're coming. Places, everybody.
Light check. 1, 2, 1, 2.
Everything looks good on our end.
And lights.
Come alive with the forest. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a forest near you.
Sometimes all it takes to be a dad is remembering how to be a kid again. Take time to be a dad today.
And welcome back to the second match. If you're just joining us, the Tecumseh Indians won the first and now are trailing 3-7 against the Onsted Wildcats.
Sydney Hines on the stop and set the feeling. Roberts stops it as well with a low poke over to Reichel as Reichel gives the low tap over to Mammal. Now Tecumseh's not going away though. They're still fighting hard.
Definitely fighting hard and definitely, putting in the effort that we saw in the first one, but definitely a different score, 3-8. They were never behind by this much in the first match.
Now look at that effort. Look at that effort. That's not just any effort you get out of any girl, and especially being a junior by White. Sydney Hines has showed a lot in this game. I think that she's trying to set the tone for her team and say that we're here to stay. Roberts again serving over to Poulter on the stop. Poulter says, give me that back, as she tries to set it over.
And it looks like they touched the net there.
Onsted did.
That was number 6, the junior. The senior, Izzy Johnson, yeah.
Mammal, the serve, with a little bit of a slide on her knees by Hutchinson, but then a block by Poulter.
That was scary. They're going to be calling her Poltergeist, if you know what I'm saying, Evan.
Libero, Hutchinson stops. Tries to spike it, says Ross. DeLand on the fast reflexes. Tipped over on the third hit by Hutchinson. As Megan Freitas tried to send it over, as Ross stops it and sends it back to the court. Onsted is up, 10-5. As Izzy Johnson, the ball must have slipped off of her hand as it hits towards the bottom half of the net on the serve.
She shouldn't have ate that popcorn before the game. What are you going to do? It's delicious.
You know, the LCAA is known for their popcorn.
They are. As Powell goes up for the serve. You know, the Indians, a big slogan they has is, we got the Powell. Kind of like, we got the power, but it's.
But for Columbia, it's we got the popcorn.
Exactly.
It's good.
Exactly. And you better believe it. As Powell again
As Tecumseh's Cameron Powell serves the ball into the middle of the net. Onsted will tag on another one to their total of 11 points. As Reichel is in the back 40, serving. Stopped by Canmus to Reichel. Over the net by Hutchinson. Stopped by Powell. DeLand punches it over to Brookett. Stopped again by Powell. Poulter tries to get a hard spike. Now, Jesse, I'm talking for you because I can't say this for myself.
Go ahead, Evan, say it.
Do you have reflexes like that?
I have no reflexes like that. I have the reflexes of a dead dog. And I think that if you put me on that court, I would look like a dead dog. I'd just be laying there the whole time hoping a ball doesn't go at me. I'd be in the corner just crying, wondering why my mom isn't here, picking me up so I can go home. Score is 7-13. High ball, there we go. Bumped up and spiked over, blocked by Tecumseh.
Taylor Hutchinson chases that ball down over to Ross, then back to Reichel, but before the ball got over, it's a double hit. Poulter serving over to Brookett, over to Anderson. Spiked hard by Ross. A little bit too much heat on that spike as the ball gets fired out of bounds.
Score is now 9-13. Onsted in the lead.
Poulter over the net once again, stopped by Hutchinson. Reichel with the hard hit over. Once again, a little bit too hard as the ball goes out of the backfield and out of bounds. Brookett on the sliding save as Hutchinson yells mine over to Phelan. Blocked by Ross. As some great reflexes by Clearmark's Wilt just couldn't pay off for as it hits the middle of the net.
14-10. Onsted in the lead still. Saved there by Hutchinson, but it wasn't enough for Riley Brookett to get there in time, so we're going to send it over to the Indian side. 14-11. Indians trying to climb back.
Emily Phelan in the deep corner of the court. Spikes it over, stopped by Reichel. Tipped over by Friedis. Stopped once again by Mammal and Friedis. Roberts wants another try, taps it over, stopped by Friedis. Mammal with the hard spike into Hutchinson. Anderson with the front set over to Richardson. Stopped again by Mammal, stopped again by Mammal. And it pays off for him there with a great effort by Mammal and the rest of the Indians. As this place erupts with a point and a comeback for the Lady Indians.
Mammal bringing out her inner Dikembe Mutombo with that. No, 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 not up in here.
All we need is a finger wag.
Yeah. And they are scared now. Mammal's just going to block everything they try to put over the net, so it didn't even make its way over. As 13-14, Onsted still up by 1 now.
Phelan over to Brookett, to Anderson, to Roberts one more time as it hits the center of the net. Friedis and Mammal were over there for the block opportunity.
And with that, the score is all tied up. We're going to send it to break. You're watching LSN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing. I watch golf with him. And
I watch him cook, because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too.
We have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.
May I please have an application? Thank you.
Skip the drama. Get your diploma. Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
All right, welcome back. If you're just joining us, the Tecumseh Indians took the first match, and now we're all things are tied up here as the Tecumseh Indians are serving.
As Phelan serves over to Roberts, just over the brick wall as Onsted puts up another point, 15-14, the Lady Cats on top.
Served by
Anderson as Mammal throwing down the hammer in Roberts' face.
Mammal is just taking this game by storm, doing whatever she wants to the Onsted Wildcats.
Now, what do you think Coach Foley is thinking in her head? How long do you ride Mammal? How long do you ride this lineup that they've got in?
Well, definitely since the game is so close, I would say keep her in. But if they have a match where they're up by a margin, I would let Mammal rest for a bit because she is going hard in the paint, as Waka Flocka once said. And unfortunately, as we talk about it, yeah, she couldn't get it done right there. But still, you saw that brick wall go up, as you mentioned before.
As Roberts threads the needle between Freitas and Mammal, which sets up a set opportunity for Lauren DeLand. As Mammal says, give me one more try, gets blocked, but throws it right back up, and Izzy Johnson gives it the little Taparooski over the top of the net for a score for the Lady Cats.
She tapped it in. 15-17.
Anderson over to Reichel, sends it over. Tecumseh hits it. Johnson with the hard spike. Mammal says, Roberts tries one.
And that's going to be the Indian score right there, being out of bounds. 16-17. Another close match here, Evan.
As Poulter, Elena Poulter, comes back into the game for the Indians. With Claire Marks-Wilt serving. What an effort by Anderson. Even though it didn't pay off, what an effort.
Right, she obviously could have been hurt. She could have fell into her own teammate there, but she stuck it out and tried to get that ball so they could, get it over the net again. Unfortunately, it didn't pay out, but still, you see the hustle and tenacity of the team.
Hutchinson back to Anderson. Over to Reichel for the serve, as it is going to be Tecumseh's point. And we are all knotted up here at 17. Claire Wilt serves it to DeLand. Over to Libero. Mammal with the hard spike, as it is Onsted's point, as that ball is just a little bit too hot and outside the yellow line. Now keep in mind another neat fact about these liberos on the team. On both teams, they have to wear a different color uniform to identify themselves.
Right, so you know which one's which.
Both liberos here tonight are in white. Now libero, they can sub themselves in and out whenever they want. They can also, with Tecumseh taking the lead for the first time in this set, 19-18, they can also move from back line to front line as they need.
Yeah,
they can go anywhere on the court that they want.
Right.
So as you can see, Taylor Hutchinson gets a quick drink, a little pat on the butt, and back up into the game.
Exactly.
As Lauren Reichel sends one to the chin of the Tecumseh Indians front line, Morgan Canvas.
Score is all tied up, 19-19.
As Johnson sends it over the top of the net into Poulter. Poulter says, give me that one. As it gets over the net, but the angle of the block opportunity for Onsted wasn't right, so it deflected off and out of bounds.
We're seeing almost a repeat of the last match. Both teams here really close to the 20 mark.
We have Powell serving into libero for Onsted as Johnson hits it. Back over to Hutchinson. Now, as you saw there was a little bit of a miscommunication on who had that ball, right?
Exactly.
Now,
what? The libero right there, number 5.
They're lucky it paid off with a little bit of communication, but in a game like this, how risky is that to not be talking with one another of who's got what?
Well, I would say that communication is 100% key in sports like volleyball, sports like basketball, where it's so much of a team sport, relying on passes, relying make sure they're there when you bump the ball to them or set the ball to them. And it just looks almost bad on the whole team when someone misses a call like that, or where the ball is.
As Poulter gives a little tap over Ross and Anderson, as Poulter was there to make the stop, but the ball just didn't have enough power to get over the top of the net. As Tecumseh pulls again in the lead, 21-20. Now, if you're Onsted, what are you thinking you've got to do right now?
Definitely got to try to keep that communication like we talked about, and not get afraid of, that the match is going to be lost, because they're playing hard still. And just like that, you see, they get a score, 21-21, but they've been in this position last match, and you saw what happened there.
Now 4 points to go. This game is pretty much knotted up at 0. It's a new ball game, right?
Exactly.
So what does Onsted have to do right now with the communication, with the effort? What's one more thing that they can do to win this game?
Definitely play their hardest. Play like it's the game's just beginning. You can't show the weakness. You can't show that you're tired, even if you are. And it looks like they're not, though. So this is a really entertaining match to watch.
Look how they spread the floor and move as a unit. As Tecumseh's doing the same thing. As Tecumseh hits it a little bit too hard. 22-21 Onsted. How important is this game for Onsted here, Jesse?
This match, and this volley is important extremely, because they got to show every time that a play is in motion that they are ready to, step up to the plate.
Now we've talked a little bit about Onsted here as we're going into this timeout.
And we'll be right back. You're watching Michigan's high school volleyball tournament only on LSN. You're home for Lenawee Sports.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all, we approach reemployment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
Donate to Goodwill, where your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community.
Life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Action here in the Athletic Association's tournament. As Onsted's Taylor Hutchinson with the serve gets another point, as this is game point here for the Onsted Wildcats, 21-24.
If Onsted wins this match right here, it will be all tied up 1-1 for each
Now,
match.
as I was saying before the break, what does Tecumseh have to do to close out this game right now? What is the main focus for them in order to win this game in series?
They definitely need to play as a unit, like we said before. Play all together. Have hustle plays like we just saw there. And there we have it. We have Tecumseh losing the second match, winning the first, all tied up 1-1. We're going to be tossing it to break.
And we're going to toss it to break. Keep it right here. We'll be right back with the opening serve of the third game here on LSN. You're watching Michigan's high school volleyball tournament.
Hi, I'm Mike Rowe. 14 years ago, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. Well, this year she celebrated her 50th wedding anniversary.
Is that why you've taken off your jeans?
No, I've taken off my jeans to prove the link between jeans and the fight against breast cancer.
Oh, that's interesting. Do I have to take off my jeans?
No, nobody has to take off their jeans, Mom, but everybody has to go to denimday.com right now. I'll explain everything. Dress code optional.
Apparently. 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. Learn more at denimday.com.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
Now, welcome back to this highly entertaining game. If you're just joining us, I'm Evan Norton alongside Jesse Ramirez.
What it do?
Now, before we get underway, we are proud to say that the Lenawee Sports Network provides local sports coverage that airs on LISD TV, overseen by our instructors and operated by our students. LSN offers live sports broadcast experience to all high school students within the Lenawee Intermediate School District.
Now, Evan, if we want to join the team, how would someone get in contact with that?
Well, Jesse, if you'd like to join the team, please email us at lisdtv@lisd.us.
That's awesome. And if someone wants to, see more broadcasts or more things that the TV channel does, where could they go? Could they find us on YouTube or anything like that?
I mean, we do have a YouTube page.
Oh yeah, we do. I always forget about that. Yeah, we have
Jesse,
really great
memory.
I know, I'm losing in my old age, but yeah, we have a great YouTube channel. It's LSD TV. If you look us up on YouTube, we also on Comcast and cable. If you have those two, we'll be on channel 22. If you want to watch any of our shows or our games, but the best quality is going to be HD on YouTube. And we want to give a big shout out and thank you to DMP for supporting us.
That would be DMP Communications.
Yeah,
Jesse.
it's my memory. I'm losing it again. All of it's just coming back to me. Yeah, DMP Communications.
Now, Jesse, you're not a student anymore, a high school student, are you?
I actually am an intern I go to Siena. I'm a student, sophomore at Siena, as we see a score here for the team here. But yes,
Now, if you're a student at Siena, what the heck are you doing with us here at the LISD Tech Center?
Well, I'm actually interning here. I'm getting my college credits through the Tech Center. By giving back and working with, talents like Miguel Gaetan and Kelly Heidbreder, most of you would know, and working with them on the video side here, broadcasting games and just trying to, do whatever I can in the video world. And it's definitely a great opportunity for myself as a college student, and also it gives a lot of opportunities for these high school students who are maybe unsure what they want to get into as a career. They can definitely have a lot of options here at the Tech Center. Things of that nature.
Now, as we return back to the action, the score is tied up 1-1 here. And what a way to return back to the action with a spike by Mammal as Tecumseh goes up 2-1 early in this third set game.
No pun intended, but Mammal is definitely killing it.
She's like a manimal.
Yeah. Look at
this.
That.
She just punched the ball. Look at that.
She Floyd Mayweathered that ball.
As Tecumseh serves once again with a 3-1 lead. We have Freitas serving the ball as there's a turnover on the court. Resulting in a point to Onsted and a Lauren DeLand serve off the top of the net. And I think that's an ace, Jesse.
Yeah, that's definitely be a score now for the Onsted, tying it up 3-3.
It's not a jack, it's not a king, not a queen.
Wait.
But an ace.
Is it a 7? Oh, not a 7. Dang it.
Mammal back to Freitas as Claire Marks Wilt tried to set it over. Just in reach for libero Taylor Hutchinson as Anderson sends it over to the opposite libero with a hard Mammal spike. And that spike doesn't just score, Jesse. that spike takes the lead.
That is a 4-3 lead, Evan, and I am shaking in my seats seeing the power on the Tecumseh Indian side there by Mammal. That is scary good.
Are you shedding?
I don't know anymore.
As we've got a Wilt serve stopped by libero over to Reichel off the hands of Mammal. Couldn't get the mitts on it that time.
And yet we see another tie here in this game. It seems like it's definitely a repetition that we're seeing in this game. Both teams giving it all, and we can see it on the scoreboard, 4-4.
Now with this 5-game series tied, well, it was tied. Now it is 4-5 Tecumseh. What do these two teams have to do to close this one out and go up 2-1?
Definitely, like we've spoken on before, they have to play as a unit. They can't go out there thinking they're going to be the individual that wins the game. They got to be the team that wins the game.
With Poulter sending that ball over and just off the fingertips of Kylie Ross, the sophomore from Onsted. We have Mammal once again serving. To DeLand, over to Johnson, to Hutchinson, to Poulter, to Reichel, to Anderson, as Mammal couldn't chase it down, resulting in a point for Onsted's 6-5 lead, Tecumseh Indians. Now Tecumseh, they just subbed out Mammal. Now it makes sense. I mean, wouldn't it make sense to do it in the beginning, even though the game's close? Do it in the beginning. That way, if it still is close by the end, they can bring her back in well rested, fresh legs.
Right. Yeah. She definitely, as all the players, even especially her, since how much we're seeing her in the game, definitely need that rest so she can come back. And when it's most important, most vital for her to come in, throw her in there and let her just do her thing.
Now, I want to say almost every single person on this Tecumseh has been subbed out at least one time. That is on the floor right now. Now, I know several individuals that I've been watching from the Onsted side that has not been subbed out at all.
Right.
What is your take on that?
Well, there's different strategies. You can have your best players on the game the whole time. You see LeBron James. You see players of that nature be on the court for almost 75 to 80% of the game, just because he's so impactful and they're so impactful. But it definitely does take its toll. So we're going to see how it does for the Onsted side and see if the girls can keep up the stamina throughout the whole game.
And another thing that is, I guess you could say, kind of a con for the Onsted Wildcats would be they don't have many seniors on this team.
It is, definitely a young team here.
They only have 3 seniors on that team, on the Onsted Wildcat varsity team, and that is Tiffany Roberts, Izzy Johnson, and Isabel Anderson. Their team's made up of mostly juniors. Now, I was also talking to Onsted's head coach, Coach Hubbard, before the game.
Right.
And she said that even though there's only 3 seniors on the team, between the seniors, the juniors, and the couple sophomores that are on this team, they've all played together for at least 2 years.
Right, so that's definitely going to help the getting used to the players is not going to be a factor when you've had, them on your team or played alongside for somewhat years.
So they still have that little bit of chemistry. They still have a couple of veterans returning, as seniors that were juniors last year, obviously. But I think it's just enough to kind of balance the team out, because the seniors that were on this team last year, they know what it takes to get there. They know what it takes to give the extra effort. They know what to do with the extra sauce to get there and win districts. So I think it's a well-rounded team for both of these teams. I think they both have well-rounded teams. But right there is another example of why we have to communicate, right, Jesse?
Exactly, yeah. You see that both girls kind of dipped away from it, not wanting to take it, and then ended up no one taking it. So you got to definitely keep communicating and, have someone get that ball.
As we have Lauren Reichel serving for the Wildcats with a dig and a one-hand save by Poulter. Reichel gives it to Richardson with a little love tap, dug out again, as the ball looked like it got thrown over the net by Megan Freitas. Back set to Poulter, to Freitas, back to Poulter, and over the hands, threading the needle through Anderson and Ross for the Wildcats. As the Wildcats' lead is shaved down to 1 point, 9-10.
Yeah, and we've seen each match now, this being the third, within 1 point. We've seen this so often, or tied up. It's just a real nail-biting situation for both teams.
A back set from Anderson. Little misdirection thrown by Ross as it doesn't have enough power to get over the net. Poulter in the back 40, once again serving. To Richardson. Stopped by Poulter to Freitas. Smacked over. And it looked like there were a couple words shared from Ross after that block attempt.
Definitely, yeah, feeling the energy, and I don't know if it was good words or bad words, but she was, hyped up after that play.
We may see a little bit of beef between Claire Marks-Wilt and Kylie Ross as Wilt sets it over to Poulter, stopped by Richardson with a spike by Ross, and she gets another point back-to-back.
A substitution here.
And that is a long ball served by Taylor Hutchinson as Tecumseh now takes the lead 12-11.
And then, that lead's probably not going to stay there for a while, as we've seen so many times before.
Phelan serve stop by Johnson to Anderson, smacked over the net just barely by Hutchinson as she gets it out again for a dig with a hard spike by Mammal as it goes through two Onsted defenders.
13-11.
Phelan once again to serve for the Indians. Dug out by Reichel. Tried to get punched over by Anderson, but Marks-Wilt says
Phelan back to serve. We've got a feeling that she's gonna serve the ball right. Right, Evan, you know what I'm talking about?
Right. Right.
Mammal with a soft touch there. Look at that.
As that was a double hit on Tecumseh. Onsted's ball, Anderson back to serve. And this game is, it's close. It's getting close. It's been close this whole time.
Exactly, yeah. I feel
14-12.
Almost like we're repeating ourselves here as been close every game.
Freitas with the back set to the gentle giant Mammal. As her headband popped off, she picked it up, puts it on her wrist, and ready to play.
Look at that. How'd she tire?
She tipped it
so fast.
She tipped it. Tecumseh tipped it. That is Onsted's point. 14-13 Tecumseh still leading this one. You think this could go 5 games, Jesse?
Oh, I think the way we've seen the game go, I mean, if not 5-4, but I don't see this being a...
With a hard spike by Mammal. I think that's a kill. I think that's what they call a kill.
Yeah, that's definitely a kill there, yeah, spiking it down, but...
A headshot. I think that's a kill.
It's a 360 no-scope.
As Wilt sends it to Phelan over the net to Johnson. Anderson back sets to Reichel, as I think that's a double hit. That's a double hit.
16-13.
As Megan Freitas serves to Johnson. Over the net to Novak. As Novak can't dig the ball out quick enough, as it results in a point for Onsted.
16-14. It's out of bounds there as we have a substitution.
Roberts over to Freitas as Johnson spikes it over. Not spikes, blocks the ball over for a point for Onsted. 17-15. Roberts to serve to Phelan. I got a feeling that one hurt. Over to Mammal with a thunderous spike.
Crushed it. Mammal with the serve. Up and over the net.
Reichel sends it to Freitas. Hutchinson tries to dig it out, but not quick enough as Tecumseh is up 19-15.
Tecumseh's pulling away now, but we've seen this before, and I wouldn't be surprised if Onsted just ties it right back up soon.
As we've got a timeout here. We're going to toss it to break. Keep it right here. You're watching Michigan's high school volleyball tournament only on LSN. Your home for Lenawee Sports.
La 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 la, I love you so. I love you, I love you. La 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 la, la 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 la.
We're here.
Yay!
It's a short drive from your neighborhood to your naturehood. To find a neighborhood park or green space near you, visit discovertheforest.org.
This new mom is struggling to get the skates just right. Now she's holding on for dear life.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of siblings in foster care will take you just as you are.
And welcome back to the action here in the tournament as we resume with a Mammal spike and a mic drop by Miguel. As that is Onsted's point now, 19-16.
If you're just joining us, the Tecumseh Indians took the first match, and then the Onsted Wildcats came back, won the second. It's all tied up 1-1. But the score in this third one,
wow,
it's 19-16, and
coming
geez
out
Louise.
of the gun.
That one hurt my insides.
With
that
a
was
double
scary.
hit. I think I just chipped a tooth. I need a mouth guard.
Oh, is it
for
right?
this
Is that it
sport.
right there? Good Lord.
Oh no, that's just the popcorn.
Oh, gotcha.
From Columbia Central. Best popcorn in the LCAA, I'll tell you.
This side of the Mississippi.
Ooh, what a dig by Freitas. Over to Johnson, to Anderson, spiked by Ross. And that was Morgan Camden on the block.
What was that?
For Tecumseh.
What was it at? What was that?
That's a No, no, no. Not today. As we've got Powell back to serve to libero. Taylor Hutchinson back to Powell. To Freitas with a hard spike into the center of the net by Morgan Camden. As as Richardson comes in for DeLand. We have Reichel back to serve for the Wildcats. Dug out by Phelan to Freitas. To Poulter. Dug out again. And that'll be I don't know what to call that.
That was missed opportunity.
That was like a finger touch, and then the ball just snapped down to the court.
I think the ball maybe did one of those nah that you were talking about. Am I saying that right?
I don't think you're not there yet, Jesse.
No,
Stick to the internship.
No.
You'll get it.
I'll get it one day.
As Powell over to Wilt, back to Reichel, dug out again. Johnson runs it down over the head set to Hutchinson. Back to Wilt as Ross says no, but it is out of bounds.
2 more points, and these Tecumseh Indians can call themselves a 2-1 leaders. I don't know if they'd call themselves that, but that's what we'd call them.
They'll call themselves a 2-1 leaders. Is that what you said, Jesse?
Yeah, and I'm not talking about leaders of soda pop. And just 1 more point, and these Tecumseh Indians will win this match again.
As Poulter sends it over the net to Reichel. Anderson over to Richardson, back to, wow! As that'll do it in this set as Tecumseh wins the match. We're gonna throw it to break with that, and we'll keep it right here. We'll be right back. You're watching Michigan High School Volleyball Tournament here on LSN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Don't let salmonella get funky with your chicken. On average, 1 in 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness this year. So learn the right temperature to cook each type of meat. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back to the action as we're getting ready to start our 4th game. This is the 4th game.
It's the the 4th set.
4th set. Okay, sorry, Jesse.
It's fine.
Sorry, Jesse.
Whatever. I'm sorry.
I'm not the volleyball expertise here.
Dude, I've been watching volleyball for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And I picked up so much.
Wait, let me guess. For 4 sets?
Yes, this is my 4th set of volleyball.
All right.
But
just making sure.
I am picking up so quick. And I know that these
you learned on the fly?
Exactly. Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yep. So
I bet this wasn't in your internship requirements.
It is now. I do believe it is now.
Did you sign up for that?
I didn't, but they they let me see all these new opportunities. So we have Tecumseh Indians winning 2 of the sets. Onsted winning 1. Indians need to win 1 more to win the whole game.
Now, Jesse, tell us a little bit about this tournament. Is this single elimination, double elimination, tournament bracket? Is there brackets, winners brackets, losers brackets?
Well, yeah, it's a tournament like any other. We have these first 2 teams. This is the first round. This is the first round of the districts.
Now, do you know who the winner of this game will face?
It's going to be the
Columbia. Didn't Columbia Central get a bye? So they're automatically in the next round.
Right. So whoever wins this game is probably going to be facing off against them.
So they're either going to play Columbia or the winner of Hillsdale and who was the other team?
Was it British Columbia?
Maybe.
Columbia Central.
That's Brooklyn, Columbia there, Jesse.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? I had a vacation in Canada, a few months ago, and I'm just still stuck in that mindset.
Okay.
I've never been to Canada, but I have seen.
How'd you get
a lot of
vacation
movies.
time for that? Was it paid?
You know what? We're gonna keep that in the low. Just watch this volleyball game here.
All right. As Lolo DeLand serves it. As that is a point for Onsted. 3-1 coming out early once again. Now, so far, Jesse, the pattern of these games have went like I've said they were going to. The first one to score will win the game.
Yes. Was that true for the last set?
It was.
So let's see if it happens for this last one too, because if that happens, we got ourselves a night.
As Tecumseh is back deep to serve, we have That ball is in. That ball is in. That is a point for Tecumseh. That is Marks Wilt on the serve.
And once again, it is tied up 3-3.
What is that, Jesse? It's not a king. It's not a queen.
Oh, 7. Yeah, I got you.
It's a 7.
Of hearts? Ace. Okay, I got you.
There you go. There you
yeah,
go.
Mental notes.
Gotcha.
I have it done.
Yeah, gotcha. Whoa! That one sounded like it hurt. The floor burn? The court burn? That hurts.
Any type of burn scares me, yes. It was like a car accident almost. Couldn't look away from it.
Skirt. As
I was watching a Little Yachty video. For those of you at home who don't know what Little Yachty is.
Little boat.
Good job. Your parents raised you right. It's 3-4. And actually with that, it is going to be 4-4. Once again tied up here.
As Anderson puts it over to Reichel as she taps it over the net and Poulter taps it back under the net. But too bad that doesn't count because that is a point for Onsted.
Now they're
Ball
up 5-4.
has to go over, not under. As Johnson has had a little bit of a struggle serving tonight, gets that one over with ease. Stopped by Poulter, spiked by Poulter, and I believe that is a K-I-L-L, kill.
Oh, man, I got lost when you started spelling, but I'm up to speed now. Thank you.
Gotcha.
Score is all tied up, 5-5.
Powell out back to serve, stopped by Hutchinson to Anderson to Reichel, stopped once again by Tecumseh to Wiltz, back to Poulter, shot up high, Anderson poked it over to Powell. To Freitas, stopped by Canvas. And that one's tipped by Onsted. That is Tecumseh's point and serve. Powell is going to be out back to serve once again.
Pow! That's the sound effect it makes when she hits the ball. Pow!
Maybe we can have Miguel edit that in there when the ball's hit. Just pow.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, all right, Miguel. Miguel's our director, if anyone's wondering, and we're just going to try to make his job as difficult as possible.
Can you do that? Just like a Spider-Man comic. Everyone loves those, right? As Poulter punches it over to Richardson. Poulter once again tries to punch it through Ross. Ross says, but didn't get back over the net. So that is going to be Tecumseh's point once again.
And now Tecumseh's up 7-6.
As senior Izaria Johnson comes out of the game for Riley Burkett. Richardson to Anderson, back to Richardson. Out of bounds, Tecumseh's point once again. Now this game is, it's not out of hand.
Definitely not for you.
It's 8-6.
And we've seen this before. They come back, and we talked about them getting the first point. So we'll see what happens here. 8-6 over on the Tecumseh side right now.
As Brookett making an impact on the game early. As that is a double hit on Onsted's ball.
Have some substitutions on both sides happening.
We've got Freitas over to Wiltz. Just too much heat, or should I say, too much sauce. For
you probably shouldn't say that.
Richardson,
just say heat.
For Richardson to handle.
Got lost in the sauce.
Too much sauce.
9-7.
As Phelan serves, dug out and popped over. That's a double hit, and as you can see, the frustration on all of Onsted's faces. But that's something we were talking about before the game with Onsted's head coach. Times like this where they don't agree with the call, they got to play through it. They got to play through it and focus on the next one. As there's some confusion on the court as Tecumseh gets another point and serve.
It is 11-7, or as I like to say, 7-11. Great place for Slurpees.
With Evan. As this gym is starting to erupt. 12-7, 5-point lead Tecumseh. This is the biggest lead that there's been since that first set, Jesse.
Exactly, yeah, and we see Tecumseh slowly pulling away with every serve here.
Let's see if Onsted can make a comeback here. It's not a king. It's not a queen. It's not a jack.
Oh, shoot. I was just playing poker the other night.
It's not a 6. It's not an 8, but a
ace. Yes.
There we go.
Nice.
Now,
dude, I'm so good at volleyball.
Now with that accomplishment by our own Jesse, we're going to send it to break. Just keep it right here. We'll be back. You're watching Michigan's high school volleyball tournament only on LSN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
So they say it's a man's world? I don't see anybody's name on it.
While they were doing their thing, we slowly changed our world.
Today, women can do anything men can do. And there's one thing we're even better at.
There's a lot of tree branches and dry brush over here. We should probably move the bonfire over there.
I'm guessing Smokey liked that idea.
All right,
we're back.
Yeah, we are back. Yeah, Evan, that's 100% correct. If you're just joining us, the Tecumseh Indians are up 2-1. A little bit before in the game, we talked about me being an intern with the Tech Center. Evan, we didn't really get to talk much about you and your Tech Center class. Can you talk to the audience about that for me as the Onsted just scores another point?
Well, yes, Jesse. I actually am a senior in high school still. I am also attending the culinary arts program.
Culinary, okay, that's, you know what that is. That's in the automobile industry, right? Yeah, you're a mechanic.
No, Jesse.
No?
That's culinary, cooking with the wrist.
Culinary, okay, the C's, I got you, got you.
Culinary cooking.
Awesome. So how is that? What does that give, like opportunity does that give you?
You know, we have a really, really great program there at the Tech Center. We've got a very, very good Pro Start and DECA team. Now what Pro Start is Pro Start is a group or an organization nationwide through all the states. There's districts, there's states, and then there's nationals. This year's nationals for Pro Start, I believe, are in Louisville, Kentucky.
Nice.
And what that is
love their chicken.
Your Pro Start, you get a team together in the class by our wonderful instructors and Chef Graff. They'll hand select a team, and they will. What you do is you're in a small space, very small, like cubicle kind of space, like an office. And you have an hour to cook the best meal that you can with the products that you are given.
Right.
So it's a really great program. That's just one of the few little things that go on in our
exactly.
Course.
Yep. There's so many things happening in that.
There's a first-year program and there's also a second-year program.
Okay.
Last year I was actually in the first-year program. Last year what it was the basics to culinary and cooking. It is. And everything you need to know, you get ServSafe certified, which is your food handler's license, and that's good for 5 years. So you can actually take that, and you can go and work in the industry as a high school kid. You can get what that ServSafe certificate does is it already puts you in for an application, already puts you that much more higher above the bar than everybody else that doesn't have one. It's just pretty much what this is all of the classes at the Tech Center are in my opinion, life readiness classes. They get you prepared for what you want to do and achieve in life.
Right, definitely hands-on more than anything also.
Right. And once again, if you want to see more about the culinary class, the culinary arts and hospitality, that is, you can go check us out on our Facebook page, YouTube page, LISD TV, and we have Getting It in the Classroom. We've got all of the classrooms, classes.
We have segments on little things that the classes are doing. We also go to different schools in the Lenawee County district and try to highlight some of the great things they're doing in their own little school area. So it's definitely a best of both worlds there at what LISD is doing.
And if you're interested in any of these courses, you can, once again, you can email us at our email. Once again, that email is lisdtv@lisd.us. And you can check us out at our open house. Feel free to walk in. You can go to the LISD Tech Center's website and get all that information, dates and times for that as well. It's a really great place. It's a really good head start on any career or industry or field that you want to get into. And they go from range from a welding class, automotive class, culinary class, dental arts class. That's only a few.
Right.
So
many options there.
So get out there, go to an open house coming up, and I hope to see you guys soon.
Get back in the action. It's 17-14. Tecumseh still in the lead.
Reichel punches it across the court, and Tecumseh's going to take another lead in this game. 18-14, 4-point lead. Now, we've talked about this last time before. If you're Onsted, you're down in this series 2-1. What do you got to do to come back and tie this to force a game 5?
You definitely never give up. No matter how many points behind, how many sets you're behind.
John Cena, hustle, loyalty, respect, never give up.
Exactly.
Right?
My boy John Cena, I wish I could see him and ask him a few questions, but you can't see him, obviously, John Cena.
Because you can't see me.
You can't. You just can't.
You can't.
But if he was here now, he would definitely tell these girls, make sure you're giving it all 120% throughout the whole set.
As a nice little dig out by Tecumseh off the serve. Johnson sets it back to Camus.
And that's an Onsted score.
As Jessica Kane provides a little bit of offense and defense for the Lady Indians. As Onsted's back within 2. Reichel serves it to Phelan. Over to Freitas, just out of reach of Johnson. As Wilt comes back in for Jessica Kane. The sophomore Kylie Ross stopped that serve. Over to Freitas, across the floor to Wilt. To DeLand with the poke.
Onsted climbing back, 17-19. Tecumseh still in the lead, though. 6 more points for the Tecumseh Indians, and they have taken this win here tonight.
As a great block and tip by Tiffany Roberts. As Lauren Reichel of Onsted tips the ball out of bounds, as that puts Tecumseh up 20-17.
We see Mammal getting back into the game for the last few
They rested her,
volleys.
and now she's ready. Phelan to Johnson, to Hutchinson, to Roberts, to Freitas, to Wilt, to Hutchinson, to Anderson. Set over the net, back to Phelan, over to Wilt, or Freitas, I apologize. DeLand through the arms and wall of Freitas and Mammal. It's gave Tecumseh success early on in this, in all of these series, but not too much luck on that one. As Anderson is ready to serve for Onsted. Back to Powell. to Freitas, to Mammal, to Anderson, back to Hutchinson. As DeLand puts it over Mammal's head into Phelan's arms. And with the little love tap, says Wilt, as the ball drops right in front of Mammal with the miscommunication.
Yeah, definitely.
Once again, we see how important that miscommunication is, or how important communication is.
21-19, and this definitely is getting down to the wire here. Indians back to serve.
Dug out by Reichel to Johnson as Hutchinson puts it over the net. Back to Harkness. As that is Tecumseh's point, 22-19, 3-point ball game here in Columbia. And with that being said, we're gonna throw it to break with a timeout. You are watching Michigan's high school volleyball tournament on LSN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
Go for a mouthful, go for the fun.
Go for cakes.
For everyone. Just one stack is what it takes. And it's Gopher cakes. Open wide, stuff your face. There's always room for more Gopher cakes. Empty the box, they're reload. Eat those Gopher cakes till you explode.
Exercised lately?
Till you explode.
Don't let E. coli mosh with your food. An estimated 3,000 Americans die from a foodborne illness each year. So always separate raw meat from vegetables. Keep your family safe at foodsafety.gov.
Wickety, welcome back to the game here. 22-19.
LISD mixtape.
Catch us summer 17. We have a 22-19 lead for the Tecumseh Indians as they serve it up.
As Johnson forces it over, and a tip off of Tecumseh's Wilt. Claire marks Wilt out of bounds into the stands, as it is a 2-point ball game, 22-20, Tecumseh's lead. Lauren DeLand to serve for the Wildcats. Up and over the net to Phelan, to Mammal. What a save by Anderson. Hutchinson puts it over the top to Phelan. Mammal with the fake as it gets dug out by Hutchinson. We are 2 points away from seeing a game over. As you can really hear this crowd rocking now, Jesse.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's both quiet and loud at the same time because you just want to wait and watch and see the game unfold as it's happening. But
double hit by Onsted. Match point. Game point, I should say, for Tecumseh as Wilt will serve for Tecumseh.
Potentially the last serve of the game.
Reichel over the top to Phelan. Over the top to Freitas, the Mammal.
And Mammal wins the game. All that talk about her throughout the game, and she ends it like that. Very, very strong spike there. And with that, we're going to send it to break. After, we're going to have the post game for you guys. Just remember that you're watching Michigan's high school volleyball tournament only on LSN, your home for Lenawee Sports.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
If you want to be a parent, it doesn't matter how you play or even what you wear. You just need to be there. Thousands of teens in foster care don't need perfection. They just need you.
All right, and welcome back to the post game. We have the Tecumseh Indians star player and head coach. The Indians came away with the victory tonight. What is something we definitely saw a lot of from the Indians tonight?
We saw a lot of effort and well-fought games all through all the sets. They never gave up. They finished the game just like they said they wanted to. And a big part of that was Becca Mammal. She was chosen to be our star player of the game. Now, Becca, congratulations on the win. I want to congratulate you on that first. Now, you won this. You're moving on into the next round of the tournament. How does that make you feel?
It's really happy. I know we've worked so hard for this, and we prepared all summer and all year for this, and it's just the next stop in the road that we have.
Now, you said you worked really hard for this. I can only imagine that you prepare for the tournament a lot harder than you would coming in to a regular game. So what are some of those things that you did to prepare for tonight?
Well, I know our whole team, we play volleyball all year round with each other. We work really hard in the summer. In practices, we work extremely hard, put in extra time. And personally, eat really good and eat a lot of food, and we get enough sleep every night. So
sounds like a winning team to me.
Yeah.
So congratulations. I want to congratulate you once again. Thank you. Now, Jesse, you have head coach of the Tecumseh Indians.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to her for a few questions. So Kim Foley, congratulations on the win first off. So each set tonight was extremely close, ties barely up by 1 or 2 points at times. What do you think was the biggest factor in you guys pulling away for the 3 sets?
I think when we gave up a point and they went into serve and we went into serve receive, we were able to get a first ball kill right away. That's something we focused on all season, and after that we were trying to streak. It was only a point or 2 tonight, but that's always been our focus, get the ball back and then streak.
Now, this being the first game in the tournament, how big was it for you guys to come away with the win tonight?
I mean, it was huge. I mean, this is what we work all season for, is to come out with a district championship. And so this was just one step. We're taking it one game at a time. We knew Onsted was going to be tough. I mean, they passed great. They battled all game. So now we've taken care of that step. We can look on to our next game, which will be Columbia Central.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Coach, and congratulations again to you and your team. For the entire Lenawee sports crew, I'm Jesse Ramirez saying thank you for watching this evening. The Tecumseh Indians win it tonight, moving on to the district semifinals.
In our next game, we continue to cover the Michigan High School Fall Tournaments. Log on to LISD TV's Facebook page for our next game announcement. With that said, we would like to remind you to get connected to LISD TV on Facebook and Twitter. For LSN's upcoming broadcast, also check us out on YouTube and subscribe to LISD TV's YouTube channel for this and our other full game broadcasts. This has been a presentation of LSN, your home for Lenawee sports.
Davis bounced it off his head, and I don't think that was an accident.
We've got a tie atop the LCAA standings. Count that baby in a foul. The first time they've been there in 61 years. Morency is going to the President's Center.
And I think this is pretty much over.
Blissfield Royals, district champions.